Can everyone sit down so we can get started? It is wonderful to have this time to connect in spirit. Let us pray together. Let's take some deep breaths. Breathe in the quiet. As I remember my divine divinity, I know that my physical health is perfect. My emotional balance stable. And my intellectual attitude is one that sees abundance at every turn. Because I am made in the image of God, I know that I courageously withstand challenges with my faith, and I show up at every situation as the mind of God. I release fear and doubt that every instance is an opportunity to demonstrate that my mind is one with the mind of God. I release limited beliefs and my attachments to status quo. I resolve to see more of the sameness in people rather than their differences. I am peace. I am the light of the world. I am prospered in all ways. I call forth the gifts of God within me and are blessed with happiness, success, and true achievement. When and if I experience a negative event, I stop, have conscious awareness, and reconnect with the essence of my divine being. I change my direction by reconnecting with God's infinite goodness. I feel God's loving presence within me. All is well.
Thank you, Anita. I guess I'm violating the rules here, but I want to take my mask off.
When you're on mic, you're fine.
It's okay? All right. So, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome. It's nice to be able to meet in person in spite of the new mask mandate that we have. For those of you who are watching on our website, there is a chat box on the left side of the screen where you can make a comment or ask a question. Please take advantage of that. If you're watching a replay on YouTube or Facebook, now is a great time to invite your loved ones to check us out. Liking, sharing, and subscribing are great ways to help us grow this loving community. And now for our call to worship song. Maria Mata.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, so our numbers are not as great as I would like to see, so I'm going to need y'all to stand up and give me some energy up here. Join me. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Whoa, my soul is welcome here. Whoa, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. All right. I'm in the right right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Yeah, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yes, it is. My soul is welcome here. 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 Oh, great energy. Thank you guys for singing out.
Thank you, Maria. All right, that's a great way to get us going. So next we have affirmations. And you will join me in reading these affirmations together. I accept God's will for me as my will for me because it's good all the time. I choose kindness before I speak because my words create things. And now for our unity principles. There is one ultimate power in the universe. That power is God, and its nature is absolute, unchanging good. Human beings were created from absolute good, and so our inherent nature is also good. We call the inherent goodness of human beings the Christ. Our thoughts are our creative power. Whatever we persistently focus in thoughts and feelings upon manifests in our lives. Prayer and meditation are essential elements of the spiritual life because they focus our thoughts and our oneness with God and all creation. It is not enough to know the truth. We must put that truth into action in our lives. We must live the truth we know. And now let's welcome back up Anita.
I am the prayer chaplain today on duty, and no matter what you're growing through, it'd be an honor to pray with you today. To be included on our prayer list or to ask for private prayer, you can contact us by these ways. Filling out our prayer request form and putting it in this box before the service or after. Through the UIG website, prayer request at the top of the page, weekly newsletter prayer request link, email prayersfromuig@gmail.com. Now let's go into a time of healing and connection. We're going to pray for the request in this prayer box and for the names on our prayer list, as well as any loved one you want to think of now. Think of that person or people now. Then Reverend Wally will guide us into a meditation so that we can connect with Spirit. Crystal Bird, the family of Susan Clancy, Sarah Henning. We see these people whole and perfect. We see them receiving gifts from God without even asking, because God starts before we ask. We see everything in their life coming to fruition and turning out better than they could have ever dreamed, because God's imagination is much more than ours. Together, let us affirm that these loved ones are whole, perfect, and complete. We are standing with them knowing that God is already actively working in partnership with each person to grow through the appearance of challenges. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And as we think of these people on the prayer list and the prayers in the box and our loved ones that we may be brought to mind, we relax, knowing that it is already all right. That this was that time that we focused on it to acknowledge that God is present in every challenge, that it is an opportunity for growth. And so we release it and we let it go. And as we do that, we free up that space in ourselves to just be in the presence of God. We got there when we handed off to God those challenges of others. And now we're there. Us with God. Take time to feel what that means to you. Release the thinking and just allow yourself to feel it. Right here in this moment and in every moment that comes after and in every moment that led up to now, it is already all right. All that God is with me right now. All that God is, I am. All that God is, I am. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
And thank you, Reverend Wally. That was beautiful. We have announcements now. Wednesday, August 18th, 6:15 p.m. is a group meditation. That's Zoom only. There's a sign-up sheet at the table in the back. We need a couple of volunteers to come in on Sunday mornings to help set everything up. And you would arrive between 8:45 and 9 to do that. After service, if you can stay and help, that would be great, to pack everything up and take back upstairs. And now we have some special music by Sandy Hemenway. It is pronounced Hemenway, not Hemingway, right? Okay. So that you know,
am writing a book right now.
All right, so that can go into your bio as well. Sandy began playing piano at Hamilton Baptist Church at age 11. Like so many, he drifted away from the church in his 20s while attending UNC, studying broadcasting and computer programming later at NC State. Around 2000, he was drawn to Unity Church of the Triangle, where he reconnected with God. Not only reconnected with God, but also with his musical gifts, and began writing New Thought music. May 2021, that's this year. Sandy released his second CD, 95 Seconds of Normal. It's available now. He's playing regularly at a number of New Thought churches across North Carolina. So let's join together in welcoming Sandy Hemenway.
Thank you. This is a song I wrote a while back. It's called One Heart at a Time. One heart at a time, one heart at a time, I will vow today to give my love away to one heart at a time, one heart at a time. I will start today, and I will start with mine. Sometimes I see a world that is in pain, fear and hate and anger falling like the rain. I want to change the world that I can see, but how can I, because I'm only me? That's the answer, though it might seem strange. The first step is for me to be the change. One heart at a time, one heart at a time, I will vow today to give my love away to one heart at a time, one heart at a time. I will start today, and I will start with mine. So when I choose to see a better day, it seems that more abundance comes my way. Hey, hey. And as I open up and start to give, the universe aligns to help me live. That's the answer, though it might seem strange. The first step is for me to be the change. The beat of just one heart can become the spark that starts the fire that burns a brighter way and moves us towards the sunrise that is change. One heart at a time, sing it with me. One heart at a time, I will vow today to give my love away to one heart at a time, one heart at a time. I will start today. Thank you.
And Sandy, do you have new CDs with you today?
No, it's only available for download.
It's only available for download. You people that are not here can go ahead and do it now because you're already in front of a computer. Where is it on download?
Pretty much everywhere. Amazon, Apple.
Amazon, Apple, everywhere. You're already in front of a computer. Buy it now. It's Hemenway.
Yes, and 95 seconds of normal is pretty unique title.
95 seconds of normal. There you go. Buy the CD. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So this year we are making it the dream, a year of making our dreams come true, right? And so in the month of August, we're looking at our spoken word. And while we talk about that today, we're actually going to sing about it an awful lot. But I do want to make sure that you get these handouts that you got in your bulletin. There are extras of these, and this is apparently also the month of handouts because I've done it every single Sunday so far. And so we had our affirmations and our denials and all of that. There are extras if you think of people that you'd like to give one to or you know somewhere you'd like to put it, grab some of those as well. So I just want to really quickly look at the 8 points and you know, we can do more work on that as we go along. But the first one is key in that it says, if you are having trouble saying, and so it is, you've got to check back in on the circle of the prayer, step back to the step of faith, right? Because once you've got the faith in it, saying, and so it is, doesn't have any hiccups to it. And I'm not saying that you've had a bad moment or you're doing something bad if you're having a hiccup. I'm saying that you're getting an indication that there's some more work on faith to do in that moment. Stella Terrell Mann, who wrote the book, How to Live in the Circle of Prayer and Make Your Dreams Come True, brings up the 23rd Psalm. So I put that on the flyer as well, but or the handout. If you'll see, though, I went through and gave you the metaphysical definitions as well. So you can read it twice. You can go through and read the words that are in the Bible, and then if you look at what's the metaphysical lesson of this, and you start seeing that it is my spiritual self, the spiritual man, my spiritual self is my protection. My spiritual self is my protection. So call 911 when you need to, but know that part of the ability to dial 911 is to pull your spiritual self into it first so that when you get them on the phone, you can speak with some sense so that they understand what's going on and you're already a little less panicked in the moment, right? And you can go through the whole thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing right now, but it's there. And then when I did that one, I was like, oh, well, if we're going to, the other version of that, Charles Fillmore wrote the Psalm of Prosperity, which he really uses the wording of the 23rd Psalm in writing that one. So I gave that to you as well. And I hope you'll use it and read all of it over and over and find ways. The Bible is something I ran from for a long time because it was a book that was used as a weapon against me as a gay man growing up in a small town in the South. It was a weapon against me, and it was sending me to some fiery geographical location that does not exist. But when I learned the metaphysics of it, it became the most empowering, the best how-to book ever written, all of that stuff. And the same thing with the word Jesus. I heard a Unity minister say this past week that she had looked at something which I actually haven't looked into called integral Christianity. I just heard the words. I can't even tell you what it means. But even in that, she said she decided that she couldn't define herself as a Christian at all. And what made me sad about that is, I understood it, but what made me sad about that is that is because of other people's definition and other people's use of Jesus's teachings and the misunderstandings that come from that. And everybody else is welcome to all the misunderstandings, and they can live by it all they want. Not my job to convince them to do it differently. It is very much my job to live my truth. And so I can't allow somebody else's misinterpretation to me of Jesus or Christianity to affect the empowerment for me. And I'm going to, in a little bit, sing a song that was originally a Gladys Knight song called The Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. And then a minister called James Cleveland, he turned it into Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to me. And I've switched out the word Jesus for God when I sing that, just to make it more user-friendly for the people here or people who will hear a recording later, so that to help them get there with as few hiccups as possible. But I think it's very important for you to know, from me at least, Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to me, because that way shower has shown me the way. That way shower told me that I am one with God and that the Father lives within me. And from there, we got to the term then Mother, Father, God, and we got to Spirit, and we got to all these other words. But the message was, it's not out there, it's here. And that came from a human being named Jesus, who had figured out how to work the Christ mind and left us that legacy so that we can use it too. So even if there's somebody somewhere else out in the world today who's using all those lessons in a different way, not my business. And it's not yours either unless you make it yours. And then you get whatever comes with letting their opinion of you affect your life, right? So, you all have heard, will hear for the rest of the time I ever have a microphone as a minister, stories and inspirations that I got from Reverend Dr. Della Reese Patricia Early Lett. That's the whole name. There were a couple of other marriage names in there, but she let those go altogether. And I learned an awful lot, and she really was my mentor and really helped me. Like, I already knew I had an attitude, but see, I'd been told that from the Christian perspective or the church, spiritual perspective, that my attitude was wrong. And then I met somebody who understood that the attitude was, I am who I am and I love it. And that got me there, right? But my other mentor is in the room as well, and many of you have heard him. He has been our guest minister, I think, twice. And when we were doing the Dream series, he is one of my original teachers of this Dream series that we're doing for the whole year. And he officiated his niece's wedding yesterday, so he's in Greensboro. And Reverend William's going to come up and sing a song as well. There's something at the end of prayers that I don't say every single time, but I say a lot because I love it. And it came directly from his mouth, which is, instead of just saying, and so it is, he said, I let it be well. I let it be so. And so you have to let it be so before you can say, and so it is, or you just spoke words you didn't mean. And I got that extra understanding, and that came from this gentleman who is going to sing a song for you right now. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. What a joy. Reverend Wally, as a teacher, you never know whether anybody hears anything that you say. I mean, you're told to give it, but you don't know what happens after you give it. So what a joy to know that something landed and it worked. Thank you for that. Once again, it's a joy to be with the Unity in Greensboro family. It's good to see you in person instead of on a Zoom call. As Reverend Wally was talking about our relationship with Jesus, this is a song that explains for me how my relationship with Jesus is every day. It was promised us he would be a counselor, the light of the world and the Prince of Peace. It was promised us that he would never leave us, and he would love us with a love that would not cease. Well, I tried him, I found his promises are true. He's everything he said that he would be. The greatest words I know cannot begin to tell just how much Jesus really means to me. For he's more wonderful than my mind can conceive. He's more wonderful than my heart can believe. He goes beyond my highest hopes and fondest dreams. He's everything that my soul ever longed for. He's everything he promised, and so much more. More than amazing, more than marvelous, more than miraculous could ever be. He's more than wonderful. That's what Jesus is to me. I stand amazed when I think the King of Glory has come to live within the hearts of everyone. And it humbles me when I think how much he loves me, when I think of who he is and whose I am. For he's more wonderful than my mind can conceive. He's more wonderful than my heart can believe. He goes beyond my highest hopes and fondest dreams. He's everything that my soul ever longed for. He's everything he promised, and so much more. More than amazing, more than marvelous, more than miraculous could ever be. He's more than wonderful. That's what Jesus is to me. He's that my soul ever longed for. He's everything he promised, and so much more. More than amazing, more than marvelous, more than miraculous could ever be. He's more than wonderful. That's what Jesus is. That's what Jesus is. That's what Jesus is to me. I let it be so, and so it is. Amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that song. And it is so important to know what spirit means to you, what God means to you. Number 2 on this list says that you want to make sure that you use your words, the power of your words, constructively. And that's what we're talking about now. If you take that moment to have kind of this check-in first of what God means to you, of what our way shower Jesus means to you, of what just your internal spirit self, your God self means to you, an awful lot of the other things that you would have to otherwise work on, some denials and some affirmations, or work on, I got to get off of Facebook. I had this conversation with myself a couple of times this week. I got to get off Facebook. I'm tired of reading some ignorance, and I don't want to fight with people anymore. I wouldn't have to do any of that if I took the time first to check in with what God means to me, what Jesus means to me, what spirit, as I empower myself with that spiritual truth and it works its way through my body, an awful lot of other things that I would have to otherwise deal with will fall away. The volume of it will turn down so that I can't see it or hear it as much. Other people will hear it loudly because they're still tuned in. But if I tune myself in this direction, Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks often describes it in a way of your radio dial. And it's like if you tune in to 96.1, but you really only like the music on 107.5, and you're mad that 96.1 is not playing it. It's like, it's not their job to play it. You're not tuned in to where you want to be. But you're in charge of your tuner. So tune in, be there, right? And we have those moments. A funny thing that happened when I was sitting over there when Bill was giving announcements, the air conditioner kicked on, right? And it was blowing the thing, but I heard it. And I had this moment for no apparent real reason that I was suddenly back on a TV set, and I'm like, oh, that screwed up the audio. We're going to have to do a retake. I had that thought that just popped up out of nowhere. It has nothing to do with what we're doing here, but there was a day of work for me when I was on some set that if that air conditioner kicked off, it's like, cut. Who didn't turn that? Who's getting fired or who's in trouble that was allowed to happen in the first place? Let's start again, right? There was that moment. So the point and why I would even bring that up now is we all have moments of our past that will pop up at some point. Right? I was talking to somebody about grief recently, and I said something about the surprise. And someone who hasn't experienced the grief of somebody really close to them was like, surprise? It was another one of those Facebook conversations. And I was like, you'll get it when you get it. Or maybe, hopefully you won't. But this past week, I was saying something to someone, and I started to type that my mother had transitioned, had died in 2017, and I stopped. I couldn't allow myself to type the words because it seemed like too long ago, and it still feels like yesterday to me. And so even then, I had that surprise moment that sat with me for a few days after it hit, right? And so things come up. And when they come up, before we use our words, here's the question for you. If you knew that every single one of your words were going to create something directly to affect you in your life, would you say those words? And people say, it's like, oh, you're killing me. It's like, well, I mean, they're not really killing me. Really? Because if you were one with God, and God is good, so that means you are good, and you're having a non-good moment, haven't you killed the real you in that moment while you're having the other, right? So it's like your words create the life. If you want to know what you've been thinking about and what you're manifesting currently, look around the life that you have. And if you're happy with it, keep thinking and saying that. If you're not, start saying new things and understand that those new words are new seeds that you're planting that are going to take a minute to grow. And just keep, and then you use the denials and affirmations. And if you already don't know what I'm talking about, get the handout in the back, or we'll get it on social media. So, in all that, this song, I heard it a long time ago, and then I kind of forgot about it, and it came back up. And I'd already planned on doing this song, and had decided I would do that on the day that we really talked about the spoken word. And then I was blessed to learn Reverend William was coming, and he was going to sing. I'm like, we're just going to have a musical day. So here's a song that first gets you into the right place, right? You have to have that moment of like, well, I have my ups and downs, but da-da-da-da. And then you get into the affirmation part of the best thing that ever happened to me. So let's check this out. had my ups and downs. Oh, but God's been good to me. My downs have been few. Well, I guess you could say that my life has been blessed. 'Cause there's never been a time when my God didn't help me through. If anyone should ever write my life story, that's me, I'm writing it every day, right? For whatever reason, there might be. What I know with reflection is God was there between each line of pain and glory. Yes, God is the best thing that ever happened. God is the best thing that ever happened. God is the best thing that ever happened to me. If anyone should ever write my life story, for whatever reason, there might be. Tell him to put the pen down, it's your business, right? 'Cause God is there between each line of pain and glory. Oh yes, God is the best thing that ever happened. God is the best thing that ever happened. God is the best thing that ever happened to me. I invite you, if you want, to stand up and sing it with me and affirm it for yourself. God is the best thing that ever happened. God is the best thing that ever happened. God is the best thing that ever happened again. God is the best thing that ever happened. God is the best thing that ever happened to me. Thank you all for joining on that. And that's your affirmation in that moment. If you leave here and hit some traffic later on or whatever thing comes up, you start with, God is the best thing that ever happened to me. And I am right, exactly with the call to worship song, I am right in the right place right now. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And then it changes to I'm exactly what I'm supposed to be. It's perfect right where I am. And when you can start saying to yourself, because it feels good, and see, what I love about music is you take the spoken word and you add some extra vibration to it so you really get it through your body, right? And if you can start by saying, God is the best thing that ever happened to me, and then you acknowledge that I am one with God, I am one with all people, I'm one with all life, I am one with the one, then you have to get to that place where you can go from God is the best thing that ever happened to me to I am the best thing that ever happened to me. Not the I of the definitions of other people that are around you, or the I of the definition of what you think you're supposed to be because of something you saw on TV or what Aunt Sally said, or, the true I am the best thing that ever happened to me. All the other people are awesome and we have fun together. But I got to start with the I am. I got to start with the I am. And when you use your spoken words from that perspective, you will see a difference in your life. And I'm not speaking to you from a place of because that's what I do all day, every day, all the time. I use these lessons. I live the lessons not because I have it living perfectly every moment, but when the hiccups come, and they do, because that's part of the human experience, that's part of the growth. When we used to say with the chaplains, whatever you're going through or growing through, and I said, can we cut the going? Because if you're going through it, you are growing through it. And so whatever you are growing through, right, the growing happens in the hiccup moments. If the sea is smooth the whole time, there's nothing to grow from. Grow from what? Well, I guess boredom at some point. You'd complain about that. But, so take that moment. Use your words on purpose. Use them in a way you mean them to grow something in your life, because that is exactly what is happening, whether you mean it or not. So they're your words. Use them on purpose. And that is my invitation to you, and I thank you all for being here today in person with our mask on in Greensboro, or whether you're watching us online. I love you, and I bless you, and I behold the Christ in you, and thanks for being here. And so now is our a time for giving and kicking off the law of giving and receiving, and our ushers have a bag that they're going to pass around. If you're online, you can click a donate button on the website or on Facebook or in our e-blast, or you can mail an old-fashioned check to 501 South Mendenhall. I do not know the zip code. And we thank you for being here and for being a part of this community and for being a part of us, the we of it. And so I'm going to invite our chaplain up to say a prayer on your gifts.
Could we all close our eyes and meld our hearts at this moment as we express gratitude for all the gifts given today? We know these times in our history provide contrast to help us realize and appreciate happier, more carefree times in our lives. Let us be happy anyway. Bring forth gratitude instead of complacency. We know perceived challenges make us aware of all the good that is present, especially when we concern ourselves with the possibility that we could lose something or someone of value. When we attempt to salvage these important gifts in our lives, we should ask ourselves, how did I ever believe that this was not important to me before this moment? What can I do to correct this situation? Where can I lend support to a positive end? And when our lives are much improved and the storm is over, we must remind ourselves of what is valuable and what feeds our souls, and hold it close to our hearts and pledge to support a desired outcome with all the love that we can possibly muster. Amen, and so it is.
And now Sandy is going to come and... Are you singing another song from the new CD? From the CD that you can get on download wherever you find music.
So a few years ago, I was at Posi Fest, which is a gathering of New Thought songwriters. and was getting to know people like Daniel Nahmod. We sang his song earlier today, and Karen Drucker. And I was taking a songwriting class with Janice Stanfield. And the previous day, we had started this class, and I had a song title. That was all I had. And we had breakfast the next morning, and the class started 30 minutes. I had 30 minutes between breakfast and when the class started. And I rushed into the room because I had an idea, and I sat down at the piano, and in that 30 minutes, I wrote this song. It's called Let It Flow. Take a moment, take a breath. Silence all the voices in your head. You don't have to force it. You'll get to where you go. In your place of peace, you'll find the flow. Let it flow, let it flow. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Find your fear, let it go. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Make a promise, make a vow. Don't believe the can't inside you now. You are just a channel, and God already knows. In your place of peace, you'll find the flow. Let it flow, let it flow. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Find your fear, let it go. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Sing it with me. Let it flow, let it flow. Perfection is all around you. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Find your fear, let it go. Find your fear, let it go. Perfection is around you. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Find your fear, let it go. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Your doubts can be released when you find your place of peace. Perfection is around you, let it flow. Thank you.
Is around you, let it flow. So let your life flow into pure perfection this week. Set that intention that it's perfection. So, and don't let a hiccup say, oh, no, it wasn't perfection. That hiccup may be exactly what is required to get you to the other side of the growth so that you can see the perfection that's like screaming at you right now. I'm here. I'm right here. So say, oh, boy, perfection is around me. I am one with God. God is the best thing that ever happened to me. I am the best thing that ever happened to me. Use those words on purpose like you mean it. And I do want to invite you this Wednesday on Zoom at 6:15. I think it's Rod that's going to lead the meditation this month. And so that's like 6:15 to 7-ish, I think, usually. And then next week, our lesson is called When I Pray. And Ethan Lopez, who sang for us, he goes to college somewhere in South Carolina. Anyway, he's driving up, and he's going to be our musician next Sunday as well. So I hope you'll all be here for that. So let us do the prayer song. Maria, would you like to come up to lead the prayer song? And then we'll go from that. What's that?
Well, I'm going to play.
He's going to play it.
He plays it in my key, too, so. And now for the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you.
Go have a good week on purpose. Love you.